I hate cliches. I get very irritated when people answer me with a cliche or an old saying. And the reason I'm starting off by saying this is because I'm going to tell you a lot of cliches, because I have learned that most of the time, many times, there's a lot of truth behind a cliche. There's a lot of truth behind old sayings. It's just we look in the wrong places for the truth. Here in Brazil, we have a cliche, an old saying. Life is made up of losses. A life is made up of losses. Sounds very pessimistic, but it isn't. It tells in one sentence how we construct our lives, how we build upon challenges, how we move from one situation to another. And the only way we move is through loss, is through pain. Pain brings us, forces us to look deep inside, to reflect, to bring ourselves up again, and to hopefully to move forward. I'm going to start off by telling you the story of a king. Oh, I love stories about kings because it deals with power. And this was a very, very powerful man. He controlled territories. He controlled states. He controlled the destinies. But one thing he could never control was his inner self, his inner state of mind. He couldn't control it until one day he heard about a woman, an old woman. There's always an old woman in the story who knew the secret of how to control your inner state. So he sent his, I guess, a knight off, right? The knight and some dukes and princesses to talk to the old woman and bring her back here by force if necessary. After all, he was a king. So the old woman came, and she had a box with her, a small little box. There's always a small little box, but there was no magic potion in here. And the old woman told the king, he said, look, I hear you want to control your inner being, your inner state, your state of being. The secret is in here. I don't want you to open it. There's a ring. And inside the ring, there's an inscription. When you've tried everything, when you've fought back, when you've resisted, when you've tried to go forward, you've tried everything you can, open the box, look inside the ring, and read what's on there. Well, he put the box in a safe place, and a war broke out. A war with a rival king broke out. The king lost some territories, lost some more territories. The other king's armies advanced up until his own castle, took over the castle. The king fled, was living in the woods like a beggar. And he tried to resist, he tried to fight back, and finally he decided, hey, I tried everything. Everything's abandoned me, I give up. But he had the box with him. He opened the box, looked at the inscription on the ring, and said, okay. Years went by, the king, through alliances, through friendships, through intimidation and blackmail, that's how kings work, reconquered all his territory. Conquered the enemy king, took over the enemy's territory, and was now the big king. And he was happy. Everything was going fine. He was so happy he was bored. He was bored. Hey, I've done everything. I've conquered everything. I was a king. I wasn't a king. I became king again. I took everything back. There's nothing left for me to live for. He became depressed. There was nothing for him to do. He remembered the box. He remembered the ring. He opened it up, read it again. Written there, this too shall pass. What this whole thing is all about, losses, victories. When we think of our lives in the infinite, not the finite, in the infinite. I was born before, I will live again, I will come back, the eternal cycle. Okay? It's all the same. It's how we learn. I know it's not easy. It's a very difficult process to going through a loss. We're going to talk about two different types of losses. I remember when I lost my father. I went to the funeral, I cried, I was hurt, it was painful, and a few days later it dawned on me. I was crying for my father because I would miss him, but I also realized it was the end of a cycle. I was no longer the son. I was the father. The time of the son, my time of learning, of being protected, had ended, and a new cycle had begun for me. Loss, finality, new cycle. The same thing with my mother. When my mother died about 10 years later, after my father. The same thing. The cycle is over. The cycle of that family, the family where I was brought up and where I was protected, where I was nurtured. Thank God I had a great family. I still do. I have a sister and I have a brother. But that cycle of nurturing was over for me. It was my time to create that same environment, that same atmosphere for my children. End of a cycle. A new cycle begins. I remember I used to, when I was a kid, we lived in Utica, New York. And that's, I think it was pre-adolescence. I was becoming, aware of myself, aware of people around me. And I made a lot of friends. And we moved. And I would always, there was an emptiness because of the loss of that childhood in Utica, New York. One day as an adult, I went back. The houses were smaller, the streets were smaller, those woods where we used to play and hike in were not as intimidating. And I saw 3 kids walking down the street, the age I was when I lived there. I looked at the kids and I said, hey man, your time here is over. It's their time now. Life is a cycle. Life is made up. Life is constructed by losses. Now we're going to talk about a different kind of loss. Just as painful. You've lost your job. You've lost your wife. You've separated. You've lost a loved one. You've lost status. You've lost money. And then someone comes with that old saying, doors were closed, a new one will open. Yes, a new one will open, but maybe not the way we expect or what we want. A new door will open if we take time to reflect. What did I learn from that cycle? What did I do right in that cycle? How did I behave in that cycle? What can I use from that cycle, from that phase of my life, in this new one that I'm going into now? This new one might not be better materially. It might not be better in terms of the physical world we live in. I speak from personal experience, but it's still, nonetheless, a phase, a cycle. It's like you're on a bus, and the bus stops, and you're very happy on that bus. You're getting along fine with all the passengers. You like the destination you're going to, and the bus says off, and the driver says, the bus stops. Driver says, get off. And you're left at a bus stop in a strange part of town. It's dark. It's scary, it's different, and you wait for the next bus to come around. And you don't like this bus. But still, it's a phase, and you don't think of it in the finite, think of it in the infinite. It's all part of your learning and growing. But how do we deal with this? Well, I think the best way to deal with it is to feel it. You feel the grief. You feel the loss. You feel the pain. You feel the sorrow. You feel the humiliation. You feel the emptiness, because life is made of losses. Life is built brick by brick on our emotions, on our loss, on our sorrow, and on our happiness. This too shall pass. It's all a part of the mosaic of our learning and growing and our spiritual evolution. Another great cliche. The burden, you're not given more than you can handle. And that's true. Because before we are born, before we decide to incarnate once again on this earth sphere or any other vibration that exists in the universe, in creation, we know what we have to do to evolve. Because when we're over on the other side, we're free of this physical body. We're free, sort of. We're free from certain restraints. We're free from certain necessities. And we can see just a little bit clearer. Hey, what do I have to do to move on? So we pick, not, on Friday, January 7th, this is going to happen to me. We pick in a general way. The school we go to. The lessons, it's like when you register at college. I want to take this lesson, I want to take this lesson, I want to take this class, I want to take this class. What happens inside those classes? Well, the variable is there, and how we react to them. If we study, if we don't study, if we like the teacher, if we don't like the teacher, those are variables. But the class is here, the lessons are here. We pick it before we're born. Because we know, along with our mentors, along with our spiritual guides, we know over there what we have to do in the infinite, not in the finite. And we use this finite school to learn, to grow, and to evolve. Many times, we go through situations that we don't want, that are hard, that are difficult, that are trying, that really, put our backs up against the wall and our feet to the fire. But it will never be more than you or I can handle. Believe me. Or at times, I didn't believe it. But I sort of made it through the cycle. I sort of made it through the tunnel. And now looking back, I can say to myself, hey Rick, you're a lot stronger than you thought. You've learned more over the past difficult years than you did through the easy years. And this too shall pass.